Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Thursday, the 14th of March, 2019. Time is 9:59 here in the UK, about to be 10. And you're looking at, well, we're going to switch over to an AUDJPY daily chart. Today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups across pretty much all the pairs listed here, but it's unlikely that we're going to see anything on GBP and Euro because it's way too risky to trade them given all the Brexit stuff that is happening. So let's get started. Just going to quickly show you guys why it's a bit risky to trade the pound at the moment. See all these crazy kind of moves, these crazy swings, probably better visible on the 4-hour. So you got price like just shooting down, then shooting back up, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. Today we have another Brexit vote. This one's for the extension, which is, we're supposed to get a pass vote. That's what's expected. That's what makes the most sense at this point in time. And this is basically, they're voting to extend the deadline of Brexit. As far as I understand, voting to extend the deadline doesn't necessarily mean that Europe will allow us to extend the deadline. It just means that we're going to ask to extend the deadline, which is the 29th of March. Either way, this is a pretty big one, pretty significant one. It's expected to pass. If it doesn't pass, it's going to cause a huge impact on the markets. If it does pass, the impact's going to be a bit less, but still, it's just craziness at the moment with the pound, and also to a lesser extent the euro. The euro is going a bit, it's moving a bit. It's to a much lesser extent, but it's moving a bit more than it normally would, just up, down kind of thing. Not on the daily. On the daily, it's been moving up pretty consistently, but you could see on the 4-hour, got some kind of big moves. So I would strongly suggest just trading with care today, or just not trading at all, really, for GBP and Euro, and just focusing on other pairs. Up to you, ultimately, what you decide to do, but I just do not see it worthwhile trading the euro or the pound. It's just way too risky. So I'm going to unmark these purple ones. I will look at the potential setups I shared earlier in the week. I shared them on Tuesday and again on Wednesday. Although Wednesday's analysis was members only. So we got price pushing up towards this resistance area on AUDJPY. It still hasn't reached there. It hasn't really moved that much in the past 2 days. We're still waiting for it to hit that resistance area. When it hits that resistance area, I'll be looking for a short. So this is still a potential. It's just not really moved towards the resistance I want to short from. Euro USD, I marked this one for those who are interested in taking silly risks. There's a potential short here. It's actually kind of triggering right now if you want to enter. I'm not going to enter despite it triggering right now. I just don't want to trade the euro at the moment. But yeah, a 12-hour time frame is triggering right now, a short there. New Zealand USD, I was looking for a move up to this resistance area for a short. Hasn't happened yet. Started dropping already. Doesn't really matter. I expect it to be easily, not easily, but I expect it's still possible for it to push up to that resistance area. So still looking for a short from that resistance area, but it's just dropping quite fast right now. All right, Euro New Zealand. There was a potential long here that some people took. Again, I didn't trade this because it's a euro pair and we got the Brexit stuff happening. But I pointed it out to people in case they wanted to trade it. Risky trade, but for those of you who are in it, it seems to be going well. New Zealand CHF, I pointed this trade out on Tuesday I believe. Yeah, it was on Tuesday. It was a potential short. I missed out on the trade because it triggered at like 1 a.m. in the morning or something like that. And I didn't set my alarms. I didn't really want to wake up for a trade, so I didn't set my alarms. So I've missed out on this trade, but to those of you who are in it, seems to be going pretty well. Who's in it at the moment? I can't remember who said they were in it yesterday. I'm going to check the forum too. Is anyone who's in the room right now, in the live analysis session, is any one of you in this actual trade? There's a few people on the forum in it. Dominus, Stan. Oh, Barquez, you're in it, right? You are, said in the forum you are. Andrew's in it, but Andrew's not here today. Martini is in it. I don't think Martini's in the room right now. Cool. I'm going to take your numbers as an example because you're the only one that's in here live that I can find that's actually in the trade. Although there might be people here who just don't like typing. So your numbers are... I'm just going to copy them over from the forum. Let's just stop. All right, so this is what your trade looks like. Okay, so I'll give you feedback on this trade, just a little bit of feedback. Your target is a bit... Yeah, it's a bit optimistic given that the last two times it pushed away from this resistance area, it failed to get down to there. So it's bounced away from it. The last two times it's bounced away from it, it failed to get down there. So your target's a little bit optimistic. Now, I'm not saying your target can't be hit. I'm just saying it's optimistic. So be careful with that target. This would be a safer target around about here. But that being said, we've got momentum on our side. Well, not we, because I'm not in the trade, but there is momentum on your side. So it is moving well. If it keeps moving this well, if it keeps falling like this fast, then, you know, it might push down to your target. So I'm not saying to tighten your target right now, but what I would do personally would be I'd set an alarm around about here. And a second alarm around about here. So when price pushes down and hits that alarm, you'll get an alert on your phone or your email, whatever, however you set it up, whatever platform you're using. There should be, you should be able to set up chart alarms. Once your chart alarm is hit, you'll be alerted that price is close to your area. Now, if you come back to your chart and you see that price is kind of starting to struggle once it gets down here, you might want to consider starting to close out your position or tightening that stop loss or closing out part of the position and leaving the other part open. You know, just reassess the situation once it's down there. If once it gets down there, it's still falling this fast, then you might say to yourself, okay, I'm going to tighten my stop loss to break even, or maybe even put my stop loss somewhere like, just as an example here. And I'm going to keep that target. And if it keeps falling towards your target, you might even extend that target. The point is, give yourself some chart alarms in order to be prepared for when it reaches there. So you don't come back to your charts at the last second, or you don't come back to your charts after it's already stalled out here and turn back around, and then you've missed your target completely. Set some chart alarms. That way, you know you know when it's close to your target, and you can make some decisions. Agor, I don't know how to say your name, man. I'm just gonna call you Agor. Sorry, but I just don't know how to pronounce it. Your target is Oh, exactly where I've put my my thing. That's a nice target, man. That's a safe target. The way it's moving, like I've said to Nick or to Barquez, uh, the way it's moving, you know, we have got some momentum here, so it might get below that. But that's a nice initial target too. There's another pull. You got two positions open. Oh, good luck. Hope you make some double profit. That's not my target, by the way. I'm not in the trade. I missed it. It triggered at like 1 a.m. in the morning or something like that. Well, my entry was higher than this one. So my entry would have been here, yeah, at 1 a.m. when price dropped down. By the time I looked at my charts, it had already dropped down. I could have got in on a bit of a retrace, but yeah, I just didn't end up. Oh, King's easier. Ah, it's only demo. Okay, that's okay then. If that was real money, that'd be a bad mistake. Even if it ended up profitable, it's still a bad mistake. Right, so let's look for new potential setups. We've covered open setups. We've covered the potentials that we had since Tuesday. Now let's look for some new stuff. USDJPY, yeah, not doing much. US oil, we'll move that to the bottom, and we'll look at it later. AUD price is pulling away from resistance. Oh yeah, you definitely should treat your demo like it's real. I didn't mean you shouldn't. I just meant that because it's only demo, at least you're not losing real money. But you should definitely be trading your demo like it's real while you're learning. AUD New Zealand, nothing going on there. AUD USD, was there a potential long here that I think some people were in? I can't remember. Why is it not marked green though? I don't know. If it's not marked green, I guess people weren't in it. But I feel like there was a potential long there. Anyway, if anyone is long, it's pulling back to support right now, so it doesn't look to be going that well. But hold on if anyone is actually long. But I don't think anyone is. Yeah, but nothing much going on here. EURUSD, nothing much. CADJPY, nothing much. This is going to be a dull week, guys. There are a few open trades, there are a few potentials, but overall, this is going to be a dull week. Just the Brexit stuff is making it almost impossible to get any trades because it takes out most of the pairs we trade. Like a good 50% of the pairs we trade are just not worth the risk. Look at EURUSD. Look at this craziness. It's way too risky to trade that. Ooh, GBPJPY. Now that looks good, but again, it's GBP and we don't want to trade it, but that looks like a great reversal setup. All right, there's one good thing. Let's say nothing much happens today on GBPJPY, and that is totally possible because GBPJPY is a cross pair. So the rate of GBPJPY is calculated by multiplying GBPUSD by USD CAD. So you take the rate of GBPUSD, which is here. You take the rate of USD CAD, which is here. You multiply those together on your calculator, and it equals... No, what am I talking about? I'm mixing things up. I don't know why I said USD CAD, guys. Just for the record, I've got a cold. I caught a cold on my holiday, as usual. So my brain's not at peak performance right now. What I meant to say is GBPUSD and USDJPY is what you multiply. So wherever USDJPY is, here. So you multiply GBPUSD with USDJPY, and that gives you the rate of GBPJPY. So my point is, GBPUSD might be going crazy, but GBPJPY might be a little bit more tame. So there is still potential here, even though I would not enter a trade today on this. No, not today, but tomorrow? Tomorrow, maybe. If this candle closes like this today, I might be looking for a short here tomorrow, even though it's Friday, but more likely on Monday. So let's mark this one. This one might take a few days to develop. It's not something that's going to happen very quickly. But there is some potential here on GBPJPY. Just do not trade it today. Can't stress that enough. GBP New Zealand, nothing much going on. GBP USD, it's just a mess. I'm not even going to bother to update support resistance areas until this stuff is over. New Zealand CAD, nothing. USD CAD, nothing. USD CHF, pushing away from that resistance area. But it looks like it might head back up for another try, so I'm not going to do anything there. Silver, nothing much. Gold, there was a reversal here, but it's not one that we would have traded because this area was adjusted after the fact. So basically, this support area was placed at these candles after it started bouncing away. So don't let that mislead you. US oil, I've removed the support resistance areas on here. I need to redo them. And we got platinum also. Platinum seems like it could be a pretty good pair to trade. That's platinum USD. I'm going to add this one to the rotation. I'm going to throw in some commodities. So we're doing gold, silver, platinum, and US oil. US oil is a CFD. I do not think US traders can trade CFDs, but US traders should be able to trade these spot commodities. If that's not the case, please do let me know. I've got to open up a CADJPY chart. Right, so it's heading towards a resistance area, but this resistance area is a bit iffy. Last time it kind of went straight through it. I mean, yeah, okay. I see potential here. Potential, a little bit risky. Last time it broke through the resistance area pretty quick. But yeah, there is potential here for a short trade from this resistance area. Look at what this 8-hour candle does. If this 8-hour candle stalls out, you could start looking for a trade. 12-hour might be safer, so look for the 12-hour candle. Daily would, of course, be the safest, but that's just not going to happen until Monday because we need the Friday candle to form a decision on top of resistance, and then we would enter that on Monday. So there's a lot of opportunities here. You got the 8-hour for potential short in the next, well, not too long. It's already 5 hours into this candle. So this would close. So we're looking maybe in the next 6 hours, you could potentially take a short on the 8-hour. The 12-hour, that's going to be a little bit longer. And the daily is obviously going to be next Monday. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out, John. I think that wraps it up for the analysis, guys. We have some potentials here. AUDJPY, potential short from resistance. Once it pushes up to resistance, which it hasn't yet, but there's a potential short there. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. New Zealand USD, potential short from resistance if it pushes up to resistance. So we need price to continue up to resistance in order to take a short there. So again, this is probably not going to happen this week. A lot of these not really happening this week. Euro USD, potential short here that you could be entering right now on the 12-hour, but it is a major, major risk. Not worth the risk in my opinion. But what I'm doing here is analysis. I'm here to point out potential setups. It's your choice to decide whether to enter them or not. My opinion is do not enter because it's too risky to trade the euro today. But your opinion might differ. GBPJPY, potential short from resistance. This probably won't trigger until Monday next week. So, or maybe tomorrow. Actually, I made a mistake there. Maybe tomorrow is when this would trigger. So yeah, let's look for a potential short here tomorrow. Tomorrow, most of the Brexit stuff is over. Tomorrow, we've got some JPY stuff, though. Forgot about that. GBPJPY, we got JPY stuff. But that's going to be pretty early in the day. So we might be able to take a short. Might be able to take a short before that JPY stuff comes out, actually. That might be the reason that price is stalling out here. Anyway, we'll talk about this more in the forum. There is some potential here. I'm just going to wait for the Brexit stuff to be over. After that, I'll be looking for a short there. CADJPY, similar setup to GBPJPY, except this one looks like it might take a little longer unless you're trading on the 8-hour or the 12-hour. What's a bit interesting to me right now is when you see indecision forming before major news like this, when you see indecision forming before major news, that's usually a sign that banks, hedge funds, you know, the big boy traders are positioning themselves to capitalize from that news release. So when that news release comes out, price is likely to move down, in my opinion. So taking a short here before this news release might be ideal, although it is obviously going to be risky. So New Zealand USD hasn't triggered. New Zealand USD, we're looking for price to push up to resistance in order to short. It hasn't pushed up to resistance, so there is no valid short at the moment. But yeah, that wraps it up for the analysis, guys. And there are some open trades, like I said, New Zealand CHF, for those of you who are short, Euro New Zealand, for those of you who wanted to take a risk and went long on Euro New Zealand. That one's open. But yeah, that wraps it up for the analysis, guys. Any questions? Sorry for sniffing and coughing. I got like a very, very minor cold. The same way you name your normal list. Click here, rename list. After you select the flag list. So starting with the main list, you flag something because otherwise the list doesn't exist. Now that's flagged red. Then you go to the red list. It's just called red list because I haven't got a name for this one. Because red means danger, doesn't it? Danger pairs. Do I have that on my list? Yeah, I guess there is a potential short here that you might already be in. It doesn't look that great. I don't really like this one. It attempted to push down, failed. It was successful on that push down, but we've got some like minor support resistance through here, which it seems to get snagged on. Yeah, I don't like this one. That minor support resistance is through here. Price seems to get snagged on that. Pretty risky, in my opinion. Any other questions, guys? All right, it doesn't look like there's any questions, guys, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for attending. To members, I'll see you on the forum. To everyone else, I will see you on Tuesday for next week's analysis. Yeah, so thanks, and I'll see you guys later.